Now that I'm home so much more than I was when I was working, I'm always looking for ways to use up what I have and to save time in the kitchen and to save extra work. So I hope you enjoy this video as I share some of the things that I've been doing this month to save both of those things and to save a little on my back. I'm trying to stay on top of the ingredients in my kitchen to make sure that they get used timely. And since there's only two of us at home, Christmas and Thanksgiving is a great time to make sure that I get some of those things rotated into my menu. I'm going to have a bunch of kids here over Thanksgiving, and of course, people like things they can just grab and eat from the dessert table. So I decided to use up some of the raisins that needed used, some of my overabundance of oatmeal, and make some pre-made cookies so that I can throw some of this together to make it easier on myself. It's raining outside today, so I can't do much of anything out there. I had some errands to run, but I guess it'll be another day. So I decided to do a little prep work for the holidays. I am making some oatmeal raisin cookies and putting them in baggies in little scoops, and I will freeze those so that I can just pop them out and bake them when I need them. So I had some chocolate chips that needed used. I also had club soda that needed used up. So I used that in the place of eggs in my cookie recipes. So instead of going out and getting wet today, I just looked around the house and said, what do I have to fulfill that cookie slot on my Thanksgiving table? I'm sure I have stuff around here to pre-make some cookies and use my time wisely. So that's what I did. While my bowl was already dirty and already had oatmeal raisin residue in it, I decided to just make another batch of another type of oatmeal cookie, and no one will even know I used the same bowl. I don't know if I'm getting lazy or smarter in my old age, but I'm prepping these, and these are double chocolate chip oatmeal. Now, when my mom used to make pre-made cookie dough, she just froze it in leftover whipped cream containers, and then you would fight that frozen dough to get it out. So I'm just going ahead and scooping them so that they're easier. I don't know why I never did this before. I think it's because we never grew up with the Ziploc baggies. We didn't have anything like that. We just used bread bags when we reused things. I remember when I used to keep some paper plates handy so when I breaded things, I didn't have to wash the gummy stuff off of the plates. Why didn't I just use the other half of the foam tray? I'm doing it now. I had purchased some of this Progresso powdered soup on sale at one point, and I'm the only one that can eat it because it does have gluten in it. And I found it on my shelf, and I thought, me being home during the day is a great time to use this up. So I cooked it up and I divided it into containers. I froze a couple. It made me 5 meals, and I had some extra wheat pasta. So I threw that in to make it a little heartier and make a few more dishes out of that. Using what we already have can be a huge shortcut in the kitchen. It kept me from going out today and getting wet, and I was able to just figure out how to make two different batches of cookies with stuff that I already had in my home. Many times when we purchase things like that Progresso soup on sale, we have great intentions of making that item save us time or money or both in the future. If we didn't have that intention, we wouldn't be purchasing it, right? But sometimes it gets stuck behind something like it did for me. I forgot that it was there. So my intentions may be good, but sometimes my follow through is weak, and I'm working on that. That's one of the things I've been working on so much since I retired is using things that I already have before I purchase more. And when I actually follow through and I make like 5 additional meals for myself, like I just showed you, I'm pretty proud of myself. So that's something that I want to continue to do. Use what I have, use those great intentions that I had when I purchased the item to save me some money now when it's most needed. Have you noticed how when we buy placemats, sometimes they will say spot clean only? Well, these will fool you because I have thrown them in the wash and they come out perfectly every single time. And then I found this furniture polish at Dollar General for only $1. It can take me years to get through one of those furniture polishes. And I know when we had a store, those things cost about $5. So I can spend years getting use out of this one for $1. You can't beat that. Even though I'm 5'10", I have some of those hard to reach cabinets. So I keep this little footstool that my brother made in high school so that I can reach those hard to reach areas. I don't know what other people keep in those really top cabinets, but I keep things like holiday throwaway napkins that I've had for a while, plastic silverware, little tiny throwaway dessert plates. I also keep things like salad bowls and dessert bowls, and most of them I only use during times that I have company. And when I'm prepping for company, I'm doing it on days that no one is home to help me reach those hard to reach areas. So keeping that little footstool helps me see what I actually have up there if something's behind something else. And it also keeps me from knocking things out of that cabinet, breaking things, or just making a big mess. That footstool has been invaluable. And that little footstool slides right under my little tea display cabinet perfectly and out of the way. One of the things I've started doing is adding a couple of teaspoons of apple cider vinegar to my ham and beans when I make them to help the beans hold their form. The next couple of things may not be thought of as shortcuts because you may think they take you a little extra time, but they also save you money, and in the long run, they save you time. They really do. Have you ever just spent too much time in a drive-through waiting for your food, thinking I could have made my food by now, or sitting at a restaurant table thinking I could have made my food by now? One of the things that I like to do when I'm cooking at home is do other things while my food is cooking. And when we are spending time to go get our food or wait for our food in a drive-through or at a restaurant table, we are actually spending a lot more time usually than it would take to make something at home. So I find cooking at home actually saves me time and gives me time to do other things. Also, I've gone back to measuring my ingredients. I used to think that just the dump and go method was faster, and maybe it was to a certain point, but I found that I wasn't always accurate. I was pretty close, but I might have actually been using more or less than the recipe called for. And then it would take me more time at the end to maybe doctor it up and get the flavor exactly right. So measuring those ingredients can not only save us time, but can also save us money. Using those leftovers that you have in the fridge to make another meal can also be a great shortcut. I have found so many new dishes by just taking a dab or two of something and then figuring out what to do with it. One time I had a little bit of chili left, but I didn't have enough for like a whole meal. So I made a pan of cornbread. I spread the leftover chili over the top. I added cheese and stuck it back in the oven, and we had a great chili cornbread casserole that is now one of our favorites. Challenge yourself to take those little dabs left in the fridge and spread them out to make them into your next meal. You will be so proud of yourself that you not only came up with a great dish, but you also saved money, didn't have to pull anything else out of your freezer, and made your food stretch. What shortcuts can you think of that you use in your kitchen and dining room to save you money? Please share them with us in the comments. I hope this video has been inspiring to you to maybe try something different. Try using those leftovers. Try a few of the tips that I shared today and see if they make your kitchen more streamlined and more customer friendly for yourself so that you're more inspired to use your kitchen to save yourself money and time. I hope this video finds you well, and I hope to see you in the next one.